So for about a week, I would wake up every single day with this like crippling anxiety. I don't know where it was coming from because I'm usually the type of person that wakes up really excited for the day. I've programmed myself over the last really half of my life to have positive thoughts first thing in the morning, to listen to affirmations, and to generally have these really beautiful and relaxing mornings. But for a whole week, I was just really struggling. And that's common, right? People will go in and out of anxiety, especially if you're somebody who suffers from anxiety, which we're going to talk about today. But I gave my brother a call and I was just like, I don't know what's going on. And he ran through a little checklist with me. And I realized that I wasn't doing the things that I usually do to work against my anxiety, to live a life that is more peaceful rather than stress-filled and anxious, right? And he asked me, well, when a person wants to lose weight, they can say they want to lose weight as much as they want. But if they're not doing the work to combat that weight, to drop the weight, do they expect to see any changes? And then, it snapped me back into reality, made me realize like, I have to walk the talk. I have to live life a certain way in order to get back into a good place. And last night I implemented a lot of the things and I wrote out my notes for this video, and already this morning I woke up so much better without that really crippling anxiety. So I wanted to share with you some of the things, some of the lifestyle changes that are imperative to living a life that is free of anxiety, that is more peaceful, because that's what we all want. We want a peaceful life, right? A fun, happy, blissful, peaceful life. So that's my long intro. Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Leeor Alexandra. Welcome to the B community. B stands for baby elephant. If you know, you know. On this channel, we talk about spirituality, law of attraction, self-development, and so much more. And today I want to talk to you about ways that I heal and work through anxiety. And, it could be temporary day-to-day anxiety, or it could be something that you might be diagnosed with, like I was when I was younger. I used to be medicated for anxiety, and many, many years now, 0 pharmaceuticals, 0 medications. And more often than not, I'm thriving. But it's, we all go through these stages where anxiety is a little bit higher. There was the eclipse and the full moon. Around the full moon, anxiety tends to be higher. Around eclipses, it's even higher. So that could explain why I was really struggling last week. But it is something, it's an act of self-care that you have to carry with you your entire life. And the more calm that you bank, the harder it will be for anxiety to wrap itself around you, right? So if you practice this for a month, you're gonna be good for another month, but you don't wanna go another month without living this lifestyle. So today I'm gonna tell you a few of about 7 or 8 of my tips for how to not feel crippling anxiety, how to work through it, and how to live a peaceful, beautiful life. But before we get started with this video, I want to give a big shout out to our sponsor, one of my favorites, which is Audible. Audible is the leading provider of spoken word entertainment, all in one place. They have the largest selection of audiobooks ever, ranging from bestsellers to new releases, personal development books, fiction. Everything you could possibly want is on Audible. I've personally been an Audible member for years, far before I started working with them. That's why working with them is such a pleasure. But as an Audible member, I get 1 credit every month that's good for any title in their premium selection. I actually just get like a whole year's supply of credits, and then I get books whenever I feel like it. If you ever cancel your membership, you get to keep all your books. It's a very generous platform for its users. I listen to Audible daily while going on a walk, while cleaning the house, while commuting, while at the gym, and I'm always able to learn something new or to be entertained and enjoy myself in a more scholarly way, if you will, while doing something productive. Audible also has meditation programs and certain reads for putting you to sleep easier. These are 2 features that are incredible, especially for the topic of today's video, which I highly recommend. I love falling asleep to their sleep programs. Lately, I've been listening to the Neville Goddard Relax More, Try Less by Neville Goddard and Tim Grimes. And it's helped me to really remember that hustle culture is a man-made social construct, and it's not the best way to manifest and create the life that you want. And in fact, relaxation is actually the best way, believe it or not. If you want to check this book out or any of my other books, I'll list some below for you. You can do so for free on me by going to audible.com/Leeor or texting Leeor to 500-500. You'll even get to keep the book forever, like I said, even if you don't continue your membership. And now for the holiday season, Audible's actually doing a crazy promo. It's a special offer of 60% off your first 3 months. So that's only $5.95 a month for an audiobook. So give yourself the gift of listening, and you can do that on audible.com/Leeor or text Leeor to 500-500. So like I was saying this past week, except for this morning, I would wake up with my heart beating so fast, with racing, compulsive thoughts, and I would just ask myself, like, why do I have this crazy anxiety? And then I checked in with my brother, and like he was saying, I wasn't doing anything to combat it this past week. I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't sleeping well. So I have the checklist, and I want to share that checklist with you, and I want you to go through it. And if you're doing any one of these things, or if you're not doing any one of these things, then asking yourself why you still have anxiety, that could be why, right? My first thing that I was doing, I was having no discernment or curating the conversations that I'm having. So usually I'm very picky about the conversations I have. I like to talk to people about good things. Yes, we can talk, you're going through something, of course, but we're going to do that not just to vent, but also to find a solution. We're going to talk things out and then get back to a good place. Last week, there was a lot of speaking badly about things, about pain and ill health, about issues rather than solutions. And not being a curator for your conversations puts you in the passenger seat rather than the driver's seat of your life. And you get into this autopilot mentality where the conversations you're having are doing you a disservice. So can you become more discerning and more of a curator when it comes to what you speak about in your life, especially what you're telling other people? This becomes a cycle when you're feeling anxious, and speaking of good rather than of bad will become easier as you make these other lifestyle changes. On that same line of thinking and reasoning, becoming very aware again of, how we portray ourselves and what story we're telling about ourselves. I noticed that because I was recording videos kind of about anxiety, I kind of fell back into the mentality of telling people what I am. I am an anxious person, or I have anxiety, or I was diagnosed with anxiety. Are we reclaiming this story? Are we telling people once more, this is who I am? We are always telling the universe and telling God and infinite creator and our deep self and other people, this creative process, we're always saying, I am to something. So realize if you've been telling people, I'm an anxious person, I am this, I am that. What are you saying after you say I am? And is it doing you a disservice or is it helping you? So becoming more aware of your stories and what you're saying and how you're explaining yourself. And taking the I am an anxious person, or I have anxiety, or I know I said it earlier in the video, but I'm very aware of it, claiming our anxiety, claiming our depression. Can you stop claiming it? It's not your anxiety, it's not my anxiety, it's anxiety, it exists. Some meditation teacher says to just kind of sit with the emotion, and when you're feeling that anxiety, so like how I was feeling it first thing in the morning, so you sit and you say anxiety, 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 heart beating fast, heart beating fast, heart beating fast, and kind of just say it until it loses all meaning. Similarly, using emotional freedom technique or emotional freedom tapping, EFT, where you tap your emotions out. Anxiety, 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 anxiety. I'm feeling anxious. 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 Okay? Using that's not manifesting more of it. You're tapping certain points in your body. I believe I have a video on this channel. If not, you can just search it on YouTube that teaches you how to do EFT. It's definitely in my School of Prosperity program if you have that. And that kind of lets the emotion process and move out of the body. And that's really positive, really powerful for working through emotions. I really recommend that. Okay, that was kind of long-winded. I'm sorry, the next few won't be. Number 2, drinking coffee and alcohol Caffeine and alcohol create anxiety in the body. They work with the nervous system and they exasperate it and they put us into fight or flight. If you struggle really bad with anxiety, staying as far away from coffee and from alcohol as you can is going to really help you. I love coffee. It's literally not for the adrenals, but the soul. I think somebody commented that to me one time. It really is like a soul ritual. I have switched over to matcha mostly, and matcha doesn't give me the anxiety that coffee does. But once in a while, I'll still have coffee. I'll have it a few times a week. So I realized that as long as I have it earlier in the day, I'm okay. And as long as I only have 1 cup, and I usually will have half of the cup rather than the full thing. So just lowering your consumption of caffeine is going to really help. And if you can lower your consumption of alcohol to nearly 0, that's going to help you a lot too, because I know that this seems like a no-brainer to some, but a lot of people don't recognize or realize that alcohol is the reason why they get anxiety. And you'll usually get anxiety immediately the day or the morning after drinking. I know a lot of you might resonate with that. You go out, you have a good time, and the next morning you're so anxious, you're overthinking, and you feel paranoid, and that's the alcohol. That it directly causes anxiety, and it will take a while. It takes a while for alcohol to leave your system, so it will keep affecting you for a few days at least. The third one is if you are having too much blue light from your screens, from your phones, from your iPad, from all the different things, especially at night. Puts your body in this heightened response where it's like it doesn't feel like it's nighttime, it doesn't feel like it can relax. If you can get off the screens an hour to 2 hours before bedtime, you're going to have a much more restorative sleep, and that's going to it's going to calm the anxiety. Look at me trying all my big words that I've only seen written, and I've only written and never said out loud. This also goes hand in hand with your environment. I don't know about you, but being a highly sensitive person, being an empath, I need my environment to be as peaceful as possible. Often when I'm in a very stimulating place, I am in high alert and I don't feel like myself. I need to feel peaceful and relaxed. That's how I feel happy. That's how I feel happiest. So I can host an event like I just did a week ago with 30 people who came from all over the US to come see me and come, do breath work together. And for other people, that might be a high anxiety situation. And for me, it was absolutely so beautifully calm because my surroundings were so calm. The music was right. The tone of voice was right. Everybody was peaceful and quiet. It was during the day. You could do things that might cause anxiety for one person as long as you really curate your environment to really keep your nervous system relaxed and balanced. So keeping your room very calm, keeping your home calm, keeping things organized and clean, that's going to make you feel a lot better. The next one is a little bit less physical. It is not connecting with the divine or not having enough faith. I recently completed a 40-day prayer challenge where I prayed every morning. And it's funny that the anxiety began almost immediately after my 40 days of prayer were done. So it's kind of like I was no longer connecting to the divine on a daily basis right in the morning, and my soul was craving it. So if you can find a way to, in the morning and at night, connect with that deep self, connect with the divine, connect with the universe in meditation or prayer. Just drop into your body, but also remember that you're a soul, and remember that you're not doing any of this alone. There's somebody watching out for you, and there's a divine plan at work. Reminding yourself every single day that you're much bigger than just a little human, right? You're an amazing big human as well, but you're even bigger than that. Something inside of you is so ancient and so beautiful, and it shows up every day as a human. So you are larger than life. And I think that having a connection with the creator and a connection with a deep self really facilitates that place of security and self-confidence, and knowing that you are provided for and cared for, and that you're not dealing with life alone. There's somebody else dealing with these things for you. I had a pretty big issue come up with my house recently, and it felt so big and it caused a lot of anxiety. Same week that I was having all this, stress and tension. And it was Shabbat, which is, Friday to Saturday night for Jews. So I decided to put it away for now, and it's going to be taken care of. And instead, I just focused on my connection with the creator and my connection with God. That's what I call that creator, and whatever feels comfortable for you, you can call it that too, because it's everything, it's all encompassing, it's the alpha and omega, it's all that there is. Kind of giving my issues over to this higher power made me feel really good. And the very next day I met somebody who's able to help me with the situation. I know that she came to me as an angel, and that it was because I gave over the faith back to the divine, right? So when you're feeling anxious, kind of connecting with the divine, connecting with that aspect, knowing that you're not alone, it's really powerful. The sixth thing is that I was on my phone too much last week. I wasn't having enough genuine phone-free downtime. You know, it's so funny how we lay on the couch and we pick up our phone and go on Instagram and like, we're resting, this is resting, when it's really not resting, because what you're doing is consuming tons of content within seconds, and your subconscious mind has to keep up with processing all of it and creating space in your mind for all of it, so you are not resting. Real rest looks like quiet walks, meditation, hypnotherapy, taking a nap, doing nothing, just nothingness, just being. And that's the time that we need in order to really process. So basically you want simply more quiet. Now the seventh thing is that I wasn't doing any of the weird things I like to do to get excess energy out, like toning. I teach about toning whenever we do breath work in my workshops. Toning is making a sustained sound, some sort of tone. I have no knowledge of pitch or music theory or anything like that, so I can't give you a great example of this, but basically we see this in the animal kingdom, and toning is kind of just using your voice or even using your body to let out excess energy. So when we do breath work, you guys might be familiar if you've done breath work with me, I'll drum on my drum, and then we do a sustained sound like ah. That gets out energy, and animals do that, and it raises the vibration. I immediately feel more awake and more relaxed at the same time, right? So the animal kingdom, like I was saying, does this all the time. They make noises, or they go and they flap their wings, and they get out their aggression in very physical ways. They get out that cortisol that flushes the body with stressful situations in very physical ways. So I wasn't doing this. I had skipped a couple Pilates sessions. I wasn't going on my walks. So I wasn't getting out energy, and I was sitting with my anxiety, and rather than toning or doing something to get it out, I was just like, why am I so anxious? What is happening? What's going on? Which is nice because it's good to do some self-inquiry, right? But how about we do something about it? And I should have just gotten up and went on a run, went on a walk. Get that energy out of you. It's gonna really be powerful. So those are some of my tips for healing, curing, working through, and living alongside anxious emotions. I hope that was helpful. I'm curious to know which one of these you do, which one of these you need more of. How's this checklist for you? Did you check, which ones do you do? How many of the 7 do you do? How many do you not do? And what are you going to implement? Does that make sense? That's what I want to know. If you like this video, if you like this topic, do me a favor and give this video a thumbs up. That is really how I know which videos you want more of. And if you want to support the channel, don't forget to get your free audiobook on me at audible.com/Leeor or texting Leeor to 500-500. Thank you. I love you so much. Thanks for spending some time with me today. And until my next video, keep your vibrations way, way, way up.